Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey here, once again with another video on Supergirl Season 2, and this is going to be my review for episode 7 of Supergirl Season 2, otherwise entitled The Darkest Place. Now just a heads up, towards the end of the video, I'm going to discuss some crossover stuff, people being confused about what's going on, so stick around until then if you want to find out all of that stuff. But obviously, spoiler alert before we get into the review, because if you haven't seen the episode, there will be spoilers in this review, so you might want to go watch it, then come back and leave your thoughts then. But let's get into what I thought about this episode. So this episode continued off a few storylines from last episode involving both Mon-El, as well as James Olsen's new role as the vigilante of National City known as the Guardian. This episode obviously did the whole 24 hours earlier thing after seeing Supergirl taking on and appearing to be getting beaten by someone that appears to be Hank Henshaw, which I don't mind as it gets like our curiosity levels up to see how we get to that point throughout the episode. It was pretty funny seeing Win and James talking up the Guardian as Alex and Kara were dissecting him. It's nice to see Win and James having fun working together as well. It's like a fun side, you know, Win's in that van just talking crap essentially. But it was interesting seeing that Guardian copycat, and he was like murdering criminals, giving the Guardian a bad name. So I wasn't really expecting that this episode, so I was pleasantly surprised. Now finally meeting the real Hank Henshaw was pretty damn sick, as it had been built up in all of season 1. Obviously we had a flashback in season 1 back to when they first meet J'onn J'onzz, but it was really cool seeing him in the present time for the first time. I wasn't sure whether or not they were going to use the name Cyborg Superman, but I was extremely happy that they did, and he is pretty damn powerful. J'onn J'onzz's storyline in this episode was very interesting, with his visions of not only his deceased family, but also things such as like white Martians, and he's like tripping out. With him later learning that he was given white Martian blood from M'gann Moores, revealing to him that she is in fact a white Martian herself. And that reveal scene was tense as hell when like J'onn approaches her outside of the bar that she works at. All the stuff with Cadmus this episode was enjoyable, with some confirmations throughout it. The two main ones being that this is indeed both the mother of Lena and Lex Luthor, as well as the confirmation that Mon-El does have the reaction to lead that Supergirl and Superman have to kryptonite, which a lot of people were confused about and not sure whether they were going to do, because I think last episode they mentioned that the Guardian's suit is lead lined. But then last episode, Mon-El is standing right next to the Guardian and does not seem to be affected by the lead at all. So a bit of an inconsistency there, but they might, you know, come back to it in a later episode and mention why he wasn't affected by it. We learned that the other guy running around giving the Guardian a bad name is Philip Kanowski, who is from the comics and is known as Barrage. And his suit in the show was pretty spot on from the comics. Obviously they improved it to make it more suitable for the show and more realistic in the terms of the show. But overall, I think they did a pretty good job with him. But what a reveal it was with Jeremiah, who is Kara's Earth father and Alex's father, saving Kara and Mon-El from the Cadmus lockup. That quick reunion and then farewell, which I was very surprised it was that short, was pretty damn emotional. And it is going to be very interesting to see how long it takes them to get Jeremiah back, because Cadmus had to pack up and leave as soon as Kara and Mon-El got away. You know, only a couple of minutes later, someone would be back there to try and get them. The Martian Manhunter vs Miss Martian fight was pretty good, pretty decent CGI, but that crazy reveal with J'onn actually like slowly turning into a white Martian due to the blood transfer is crazy, and I cannot wait to see where that goes. Now towards the end, we got the setup for a future romance between both Mon-El and Kara, which I don't think a lot of us would be surprised with. I think a lot of us saw that coming, as well as more development between Alex and Maggie as well. And what about that end scene with Cyborg Superman inside the Fortress of Solitude, using Kara's blood to gain access and learn about Project Medusa? Now next episode is actually just called Medusa, so we're going to follow on there with that. And in this episode, we got a Batman Easter egg. Obviously, I think it was in episode 1 or 2 that we got a Gotham Easter egg when that family said, oh, let's move back to Gotham. And in this episode, we got Kara saying that my cousin worked with a vigilante once, tons of gadgets, lots of demons, obviously referring to Batman. So I thought that was pretty cool. But overall, this was a great episode. I thought it was maybe the best episode of the season. I'm just trying to think of all the other episodes. I really enjoyed this one. I can't really think of too much to complain with, apart from maybe that inconsistency with Mon-El, you know, with the lead, how he got affected in this episode, but last episode he wasn't. But they've set up a lot of stuff in this episode with Jeremiah and stuff like that, and I can't wait to see that along with Jean Jones' White Martian issue. I think that's going to be awesome to see as well. But I really can't fault this episode too much. I don't know if I'm the only one, but I think this actually might be the best episode of the season. So let me know if you think that's the case as well in the comments. Now, as I said, some crossover stuff. A lot of people are confused about what's going on. So this week, there's only Supergirl, which came out today and we've already watched, obviously. And then there's Flash tomorrow, but there's no Arrow and there's no Legends of Tomorrow. So then next week, it starts on Supergirl, the crossover, but it's like the last scene of the episode. So the whole Supergirl episode is a normal, regular Supergirl episode. And then the last maybe 5 minutes, I would say, is set up for the crossover. And then the proper story starts on Flash, then continues on Arrow, then finally ends on Legends of Tomorrow. So hopefully that sorts out any confusion a lot of people might have had about the crossover and what's going on with it. So don't go into next week's Supergirl episode expecting the whole episode to be some sort of crossover thing. It's only the last couple of minutes, so be prepared for that. But thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed not only my video on the episode, but the episode itself. If you did, it'd be very much appreciated if you could leave a like on it. Let me know in the comment section below, what did you think of this episode? What was your favorite part? Do you agree with me in thinking that it's probably the best episode of the season? And if you are new around here, make sure to subscribe. I'll catch you later, guys, and goodbye.